You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Live at 4. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. Hope you had a nice Easter weekend. Sarah Carlson is filling in today for Brady Mallory, who has a couple days off. Thanks for your help.
Great to be here.
Did you have a good Easter?
Always. I did. Lovely. Got to spend time with family. How about you?
Very good, yeah. And now it's back to Monday.
It is Monday again, exactly.
And it is a busy one. We have a few big stories to get to today, and we'll begin with breaking. Just within the past hour, the Department of Education will begin collecting student loans that are in default. That will start next month. It includes the garnishing of wages for potentially millions of borrowers. Currently, about 5.3 million borrowers are in default on their federal student loans.
And on to Wall Street, where stocks tumbled today as investors grow more skeptical of U.S. investments. The Dow dropped 972 points. NASDAQ lost 416, and the S&P 500 lost 125 points.
People around the world are mourning today after the passing of Pope Francis. The 88-year-old pontiff died after having a cerebral stroke that put him in a coma with irreversible heart failure. Earlier this year, the Pope had health setbacks due to double pneumonia. His passing came just hours after a visit with Vice President J.D. Vance and after appearing at Easter Mass. President Trump has ordered flags to fly at half-staff, and so has Governor Tony Evers. The Diocese of Madison released a statement on the Pope's death, reading in part, quote, "We remember Pope Francis for his evangelizing zeal, desire for peace in the world, and love for the poor." Madison Bishop Donald Hying also said he would be announcing the date of a special mass to honor the Pope once we know when the funeral is scheduled. We'll have much more local reaction on the passing of Pope Francis a little later on Live at 4.
And now we're taking a look at your firstborn forecast. It is a chilly and windy one out there, where Jacob Montesano was out on the patio. How is it now?
Well, it definitely is a little bit less windy, and that's causing the temperatures to feel a little bit better. Right now, we are right around 50 for Madison, but looking at the current temperatures off to the west, there are a few locations in the middle 50s with a little bit more sunshine also for areas off to the west. Right now, we're still seeing pretty much complete cloud cover here in Madison, but we are expecting some sunshine before the day is up. I know there's only a few more hours left, but the skies are going to become clear the next couple of hours. Again, still a little bit breezy. Winds have improved a little bit, but still up around 10 to 20 miles per hour. However, looking at the current wind gusts, they are going to decrease very quickly over the next couple of hours. By around 8 p.m., they're going to be pretty much non-existent. And like I mentioned, we also are expecting clear skies over the next couple of hours, but this is really going to be the only period that we see clear skies because clouds will increase a little bit later in the night. But temperatures in the lower 50s to upper 40s through the evening. Again, we are expecting that sun to come out just before sunset. Actually, as I speak, it seems like the sun just came out as well. So that is definitely some good news right now. But overnight, we are going to see the clouds develop later in the night with the chance of some showers and some thunderstorms towards Tuesday morning. And we're going to continue to see almost a daily chance of rain the next couple of days. So I'll talk more in detail about that coming up a little bit later.
All right. Thank you so much, Jacob. And weather, as we know, is woven into all parts of life, which means predicting it requires constant innovation.
UW-Madison is known for those innovations in forecasting, but its work could be in jeopardy if the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration loses an estimated 65% in federal funding.
That's right. Arman Rahman has more on the work done here that experts say saves lives.
If you, like me, got up this morning and took a look at the weather app on your phone, then you're likely looking at data that's been processed at a cooperative institute like the one here at UW-Madison, funded by NOAA, funding that could be in jeopardy.
There are going to be impacts on people's lives with these cuts.
This may just look like forecasting data, but it's all gathered by dishes atop UW's Office of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences building and processed by researchers and experts at SIMS, which gets about $14 million from NOAA each year. Those researchers then turn that data into practical observations that they'll send to forecasters and emergency managers across the country to make operational decisions about hurricanes, wildfires, flash floods, lightning, and more.
Just last year, when there's severe weather outbreaks that are occurring here in Wisconsin, data from SIMS, like, again, the products that we have here that give lightning detection, can detect where lightning is, and that gives forecast offices in Milwaukee, where we have a close relationship with the National Weather Service office in Milwaukee. We coordinate with them.
Without federal funding, Professor Michael Morgan says cooperative institutes like SIMS could lose valuable research or close entirely. Reporting in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Armand. The Evansville man charged with assaulting and exploiting a teenager will go to trial. This morning, 26-year-old Hunter Dreyfall pleaded not guilty to 1 count of second-degree child sex assault, 1 count of child sexual exploitation, and 5 counts of possessing child sexual abuse material. Those charges stem from an investigation into the deadly shooting of 14-year-old Florencia Henthorne earlier this month. On the morning of April 6th, first responders arrived at South Madison Avenue in Evansville, where they found a 14-year-old with a gunshot wound. They took her to the hospital, where she later died. A few days later, prosecutors charged Dreyfall and 20-year-old Alyssa Ahrens with multiple child sex crimes. Ahrens appeared in court briefly this morning, but her appearance was rescheduled for April 29th.
We now know the name of the victim in last week's possible accidental shooting. 19-year-old Deshaun Sturkey of McFarland died from his injuries on Thursday. Police responded to Fish Hatchery Road Wednesday night at 10, where they found the 19-year-old and took him to the hospital. Madison police arrested 17-year-old Montre Stalling, who is out on a cash bond, charged with homicide by negligent handling of a dangerous weapon. He's due back in court on May 1st.
Well, this week is National Work Zone Safety Awareness Week, and this year's theme is Respect the Zone so we can all get home.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks attended an event by the state's Department of Transportation on what measures they're taking to make work zones safer.
Spring construction season is underway. In this National Work Zone Safety Week, WISC-DOT is encouraging safe driving across the state.
Members from the State Department of Transportation and State Patrol kicked off National Work Zone Safety Week, going over improvements to work zones this year, which will include speed limit signs for the zones and other tools that will alert drivers of the zone conditions. This is all part of an effort to make work zones safer. And according to the DOT, more than 2,100 crashes happen in Wisconsin work zones each year.
I can deal with bad budgets. I can deal with winter storms. I can deal with tornadoes, bad politics, and trying to get staff. But the thing, he said, I never want to have to deal with is to have to go make that knock some night on somebody's door to tell them their loved one isn't coming home.
Drivers are mainly encouraged to do 2 things: slow down in work zones and put the phones away. For now, reporting in Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
And in 2025, DOT anticipates more than 400 improvement projects across the state.
Well, next on Live at 4, when the process for picking a new pope will begin.
Plus, another signal chat scandal, who the Secretary of Defense sent military plans to when we return. Welcome back, everyone. Right now, people around the world are honoring the life and legacy of Pope Francis, who died early this morning at the age of 88.
Francis, often referred to as the People's Pope, was widely known for his humility. And during his 12 years leading the church, the late pontiff made history. He was the first pope to take the name of Francis. He was the first pope from the Americas, the first non-European pontiff in more than 1,000 years, and the first Jesuit pope. He was also the first pope to live next door to his retired predecessor, Benedict XVI.
And now to a live look at St. Peter's Square. Very beautiful. Visitors have been stopping by all day to pay their respects. Over the next 9 days, the Vatican will observe a period of mourning during which Francis will be buried. After that, the papal conclave will begin. All cardinals under the age of 80 will meet in Vatican City to elect the Catholic Church's next leader. The process typically takes about 2 to 3 weeks.
The White House is publicly supporting Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after another Signal chat controversy. This time, Hegseth's accused of using the non-government app on his personal phone to share military plans with his family members. The group chat from earlier this year included his brother, personal lawyer, and his wife. The 2 men work for the Department of Defense, but Hegseth's wife does not. Sources say Hegseth used the chat ahead of strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. Hegseth is coming to his own defense, even as experts say his actions posed a risk.
This is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me.
These types of signal chats, even if they happen in the United States, in the D.C. area, you can bet that the Russians and the Chinese are working very hard to intercept them.
The DOD acting inspector general is investigating another signal group chat earlier this year that also involved the Yemen strikes.
And now we're turning to weather, where it has been a chilly and windy one. We have Jacob Montesano with hopefully a little bit of a better future.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see warmer temperatures over the next week, but we have almost a daily chance of rainfall, and there even could be a few severe storms along with those. Now, we don't have any alert days, as there's not really any specific day that is going to produce a lot of thunderstorms or a lot of rainfall, but pretty much every single day there will at least be the chance of it. Meanwhile, temperatures will be a lot milder during all of it. Now, looking at the severe weather risk, it's mostly for tomorrow, and it's mostly for areas south of Madison, with the marginal risk for areas near the Wisconsin-Illinois border. But it is possible that all the severe weather stays south of Wisconsin entirely. So let's take a look at the rainfall forecast. Cloudy skies right now, but then clear skies later in the evening and early overnight. But then clouds move back into the area during the later overnight hours. And once we get towards sunrise Tuesday, we'll start to see some showers and storms move through the area. And everyone has a chance to see those showers and storms during the morning. This round of precipitation could produce severe weather, but the better chance of severe weather will be from the storms later. Now, we're not expecting much in the form of rain for Tuesday afternoon. Maybe a few light showers here and there, but not much. But as we get to Tuesday night, look at to the south of Wisconsin. These storms that will form, those have the best chance to be severe. Could creep up into southern Wisconsin, as you saw with the severe weather outlook, but it's also possible they miss us entirely. However, once we get towards Wednesday morning, we're going to see more rain move into the area. This rain will be a little bit more widespread across the region, but we're not expecting any severe weather with this rain. So a good chunk of Wednesday, we are expecting these scattered showers and thunderstorms, but even for Wednesday, we're still going to see breaks in the rainfall. And continuing along, we'll see fairly dry weather Wednesday night into Thursday. Still could see some isolated showers and storms. And then as we get towards Thursday night and Friday, we'll see more consistent rain move back into the area, really impacting us on Friday, where we could see scattered showers for a good chunk of the day. And then that will clear out Friday night, and then it will be dry for Saturday. So let's recap all these rain chances, because there's going to be a lot of them this week. We have a good chance of rain as we get towards Tuesday morning. Small chance that could happen before sunrise. And then we have a good chance of rain during the day on Wednesday. Still could see some rain Tuesday night, and then again Wednesday night into Thursday, but the rain chances are a little bit less. And then Thursday night into Friday, right now that looks like the best chance of precipitation this week. And then Saturday we are going to be dry. And the good news is that look at those temperatures, very comfortable. And even for next week, where we're going to see more rainfall, temperatures are going to remain in the 60s and 70s.
All right, we'll take it. Thank you, Jacob. And now in the 608, a beloved custodian at a local school district is celebrating a big milestone.
A day in the life of a custodian may not sound very exciting for many folks, but as our Josh Spreiter found out, this job was made for Mr. Peanuts.
Every time a baby is born, they are just a little peanut. That's been going with me for 85 years.
Rodney Esser is the head custodian at Park Elementary in Cross Plains.
When I got to school, somebody put a Mr. in front of it. Now the kids call me Mr. Peanuts.
That was 60 years ago when Mr. Peanuts joined the school district staff. A full circle moment for him, as he used to farm the land this building now sits on.
But I spend more time here than I do in my regular home.
Looking at the memory wall in his office, you can see just how much of a positive impact this man has made. From right here in the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District to South Dakota, where he helps out on a ranch just like his dad once did. Mr. Peanuts tells me he gets the best of both worlds in life.
These kids, they're all kids are different, but at the same time, they're all alike. And there's just something magic about those kids. When you go to work, give them a hug, give them a high five, they walk away smiling, stuff like that. That warms my heart.
Mr. Peanuts does anything and everything to keep Park going every single day, and one of his biggest motivators is music.
Anything can happen. I put music behind it, I can get it done. It doesn't rattle me, it doesn't do anything.
So the school district is putting on a 60th anniversary show for him. It's serving as a fundraiser for music initiatives at Park and grants for the Education Foundation. One of the performers is his favorite singer, Molly B of the Molly B Polka Party, along with many others coming forward to celebrate his 6 decades of dedication.
That's going to be a big celebration.
In Cross Plains, Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Congratulations, Rodney. That is so well deserved.
Exactly.
I hope it's going to be a big bash.
Maybe we should go.
Yeah, I'd love to go. Great story, Josh. Thank you. Coming up on Live at 4, the wait continues for the long-awaited Madison Public Market.
We'll tell you the reason for the latest delay. We talk to the editor of Madison Magazine when Live at 4 continues. Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's been more than 15 years since the idea for a Madison public market was born.
There have been numerous stops and starts along the way. So where does the project stand today? The editor of Madison Magazine tells us what's next for the Madison Public Market. Andy Bailing, the editor of Madison Magazine, is with us this afternoon. Hi, Andy. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
This public market project, everyone has been so excited about it, has been how long a process in the making?
2 decades.
Wow.
Yep, and it's funny, our new CEO of it, Keisha Harrison, she even said everyone is ready for it to be open. And it's been a lot of stops and starts in the last 2 decades, funding, the location, and we are finally in the home stretch here. And of course, we're just asked to wait a little bit longer because there are some construction delays.
Yeah.
So, but they've shared some pictures of construction updates, and you can really get a feel for what this space is going to look like. This city market is going to be a really, really cool thing for Madison.
I know when I moved here, it was so exciting to hear about. And like you said, it was like, we're this close, wait, we're this close. And, everyone's so excited about it. Do you think that they, in the grand scheme of things, are okay waiting just a little bit longer?
Yes, absolutely. And when you think of it, too, it's like we've been waiting for this for 2 decades. So they were supposed to open this summer, and they're delaying it to November 1st is the goal to open. So, we will still, hopefully, there won't be that summer kind of seasonal ingredient kind of feel to it at that opening, but it's still going to be really exciting. And when you think of it, Madison is we're nationally renowned for our Dane County Farmers Market. To have a city market just feels right for, and we're kind of long overdue for something like that. And they've got spaces for 31 permanent vendors and then over 100 temporary vendors. So.
Well, how will this be different and, like you said, special for Madison? How is it unique from what we already have?
Right, yeah, and I don't know if either of you have been to the Milwaukee Public Market, but it kind of gives you this taste, literally, of what the Madison food scene is all about. But Keisha Harrison, for sure, she was in charge of the operation and restoration of a historic city market in Indianapolis. So she brings this really great knowledge base of exactly what we're doing here. But she's doing it in a way that it's going to support our food entrepreneurs here in a way that no other city market has just built into what they do. So it's really going to support those makers and the entrepreneurs and the people that are launching food businesses in a really special and important way, and giving them a home to launch these businesses. They've got this market ready program that they've got, I think 4 businesses that they're really, it's kind of a business development type of relationship. So.
Yeah, because like you said, when you go to the Milwaukee one, it is kind of like a visitor's hub, and you do get an introduction to the area.
Yeah, and it's, there's certain places in Madison that I always take visitors when they're in town to kind of show off the city. Yeah. This is going to be one of those places.
Where is it going to be?
Yeah, so it's on North 1st Street. It's on one of the big bay of windows that you can see in these construction photos. Looks at out at East Washington Avenue. It's in the former Fleet building. So these construction photos that are available online too, that you can see, you really get a feel for what the space is going to be like. There's this upper mezzanine, just like the Milwaukee Public Market, that you can kind of look down into the hall. So I'm so excited about this. Really happy that Keisha Harrison has shared some details about it, and excited for November 1st now.
Was there anything that we missed in your story? Are there any other little details or hints that you can give us?
You know, besides
she
everyone
loves that question.
Tell me more.
Yeah, right. No, I think people are really excited just to hear what businesses are going to be in there, and you know the ones that I'm excited about. You know, there's El Sabor de Puebla is in this Market Ready program. Melly Mel's, Caracas Empanadas. These Madison names that we know and love are going to move into this space. So it's really going to feel like our space, and it's also going to be an event space as well. So I think people don't really realize, they think City Market, but it's going to be a lot more than that, and it's going to be a place that people gather and create Madison memories.
Good things come to those who wait.
Right?
Come on, November.
Patience is a virtue.
Thank you so much for being on with us.
Thanks, Andy. Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
And you can read much more about the Madison Public Market in the current issue of Madison Magazine.
It's exciting.
Coming up, Jacob tells us what to expect this week in the First Warn forecast.
Plus, local reaction to the death of Pope Francis. Our Kyle Pozorski speaks with churchgoers and the bishop when Live at 4 returns.
News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Welcome back to Live at 4. We're continuing to follow the death of Pope Francis with people around the world in mourning.
Our Kyle Pozorski shares how people in our local area are reacting to the news.
It's an overwhelming feeling of somberness as Catholics around the world, as well as here in Madison, reflect on the Pope's time at the news of his passing.
He's not just the CEO of this mammoth global organization.
Bishop Donald Hine of the Diocese of Madison saying the death of Pope Francis feels similar to the death of a family member.
And he's really our father. We call him the Holy Father.
The Pope of 12 years served with a passion and love of all people. Hine saying that was made clear in the Pope's final hours attending Sunday's Easter events.
I think that's emblematic of his whole papacy. He wanted to just be engaged, to be active, to be out there with the people. It was certainly a Pope with a pastor's heart.
Parishioners outside St. Patrick's Church of Madison saying,
we're also very grateful for his papacy and all the things that he did for people around the world.
I think by and large, if there's one thing that most people agree on, it's just how loving and empathetic he was to humanity.
In downtown Madison, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. We also heard from President Trump on the Pope's death today and how he plans to honor the late pontiff.
I just signed an executive order putting the flags of our country, all of them, all federal flags and state flags, at half-mast in honor of Pope Francis. So he was a good man, worked hard, he loved the world, and it's an honor to do that.
Over the next 9 days, the Vatican will observe a period of mourning during which Francis will be buried. President Trump says he and his family will attend the Pope's funeral.
And now it's time to check at your First Warn forecast. Jacob Montesano was out on the weather patio, and you said things were beginning to maybe brighten up out there.
Yeah, we are going to see the skies become a little bit clear throughout the evening. Still seeing mostly cloudy skies right now, but there are at least a few peaks of sunshine. As you can see from the current radar, we are dry right now, and we have been dry throughout much of the day. Now, looking at the current temperatures, still on the cooler side. We definitely were below normal today. The highs were near 50 for Madison. A little bit warmer off to the west, middle 50s right now, as there is a little bit more sunshine further west. We also have been windy. We're continuing to see some breezy conditions, around 10 to 20 mile per hour current wind speeds. But looking at the wind gust forecast, this is it right now. And in about an hour or two, the winds are going to calm down completely. So not going to be very windy much longer. And looking at the rest of the week, we're not going to see a lot of windy conditions either. So this evening will be pretty comfortable, all things considered. We're going to see clear skies, which we're not going to see a lot of that this week because we have a lot of rain. But clear skies this evening, but then cloudy skies will return later in the night as we are going to see some rain possibly move into the area, with a little bit more likely by the time we get past sunrise Tuesday. So I'll talk more detail about that and show you all of the rain chances that are expected this week. All those details coming up later.
All right, thank you so much, Jacob. President Donald Trump is continuing to pressure Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell to cut interest rates. This is part of the president's ongoing mission to try and oust Powell as chair. Meanwhile, Powell says the president's tariffs are unlike anything in modern history, with the potential to stoke inflation and drag on economic growth. The Fed will meet next month to decide on whether or not to cut rates. And on Wall Street, it appears stocks are tumbling today. The Dow dropped 972 points. The Nasdaq lost 416, and the S&P lost 125.
Democratic leaders in the state Senate and Assembly are already backing a candidate to lead their party. Earlier today, Minority Leader of the state Senate, Dianne Hesselbein, and Minority Leader of the Assembly, Greta Neubauer, endorsed Devin Remaker. Remaker announced he'd be running for chair last week. Remaker played a role in the Evers, Biden, and Protasewicz campaigns. He also worked for the Harris-Walz campaign. Delegates to the WISC-Dems state convention will elect a new leader in June.
An Evansville man charged with assaulting and exploiting a teenager will go to trial.
This morning, 26-year-old Hunter Dreyfall pleaded not guilty to 1 count of second-degree child sex assault, 1 count of child sexual exploitation, and 5 counts of possessing child sexual abuse material. Those charges stem from an investigation into the deadly shooting of 14-year-old Florencia Henthorne earlier this month.
On the morning of April 6th, first responders arrived at South Madison Avenue in Evansville, where they found the 14-year-old with a gunshot wound. They took her to the hospital, where she later died. A few days later, prosecutors charged Dreyfall and 20-year-old Alyssa Ahrens with multiple child sex crimes. Ahrens appeared in court briefly this morning, but the court rescheduled her initial appearance for April 29th.
Today, a ceremonial tree planting honors the lives of the Abundant Life school shooting victims. The tree was planted outside of SSM Health's South Stoughton Road location, the clinic that was used as the reunification center for students and families on the day of the shooting. ALCS officials reflecting on that day and the work of the SSM Health providers at the ceremony.
On December 16th, the leadership and staff of this clinic took actions that are almost inconceivable when you think about it. You disrupted your day, displaced patients, and opened your arms and hearts to our family when we were at our most vulnerable.
There were more than 400 students sent to the clinic on December 16th to meet their families. 3 people, including the shooter, died that day. One of the injured victims is still in the hospital in critical condition.
Now, coming up on Live at 4, it is NFL Draft Week.
When we come back, Eric Franke and Jason Wilde will join us with the highlights of the Packers pre-draft press conference. We'll be right back. Well, it's almost here. The NFL Draft will get underway in Green Bay this week.
And ahead of our special coverage, Eric Franke and Packers contributor Jason Wilde are talking about what we can expect. Eric?
Thank you. Our Channel 3000 insider Jason Wilde join us as Draft Week is here. And Jason, Brian Gutekunst, the general manager, had his pre-draft press conference today. What's the biggest piece of news, if anything, that came out of that?
Well, there were some little tidbits of news that we'll get into, but the most interesting thing that came out of it was that he told us that if the Packers had to play a game today, he feels really good about his roster. He thinks he's got a really good football team already, not even adding the 8 draft picks and whatever undrafted free agents he will sign onto that roster. Now, I did think this was very interesting. Last year, someone asked him about Cooper DeJean, the defensive back from Iowa, who had been linked to the Packers in a lot of mock drafts. Goody gave a very long and detailed answer on how good Cooper DeJean is. And then when it came time to pick him, he didn't pick him. So I don't think he ever intended to pick him to begin with. Today he was asked about Tet McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona, and he tried to convince us that he wasn't even at his pro day at Arizona. He was joking, of course, but keep an eye on that name because he did not want to talk about him one bit, and that was pretty interesting.
That is interesting, and Cooper DeJean certainly made his presence felt in the Super Bowl. How about Jair Alexander? Where are we with him? He certainly is good if he's part of that roster. Will he be? What's the latest?
Well, the line we got from Goody was, he's on our roster right now, and he didn't have any updates. So as we've been talking about, as I've been writing about at channel3000.com, I think it's pretty clear that his days are numbered. Packers still holding out hope to get something for him in a trade. I think that's looking like a slimmer and slimmer possibility. I'm guessing they'll wait until after the draft and then hope one last time there'll be a trade partner interested, and if not, they will release him.
3 years ago, they got a couple of stud defenders from Georgia in Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt. They're kind of coming up on a decision, right, for Gutekunst here?
Yeah, so May 1st is the deadline to offer the fifth-year qualifying offer, which means that each of those guys would get a big number guaranteed for 1 year for the 2026 season. Brian Gutekunst wouldn't say specifically if they will get the fifth-year option or, and this was the most interesting thing, if he will get them signed to extensions, which would allow them to spread that cost over multiple years. But he was very clear. He wants them on this team in 2026 and beyond. So he's feeling like those two 2022 first-round picks are finally starting to hit.
Jason Wilde, our Packers insider. Draft week is here. We'll hear from him throughout the course of the week as the anticipation builds. Susan?
All right, Eric and Jason, thank you guys. Don't forget, News 3 Now will be your home for NFL draft coverage. Jason, Eric, Zach, and Andrew will have the sights, sounds, and strategy leading up to this week's first-round Packer picks.
Almost here.
Yep.
All right, coming up on Live at 4, Jacob has your full First Warn forecast.
Plus, Sinners takes the box office crown, whether it's worth seeing in theaters. The Loper Report is coming up. This is a live look at Vatican City in Rome. Very beautiful, peaceful shot. It's almost midnight there, 11:45 p.m., and you can't see if there are people still in the square, but they've been there all day as tributes continue to pour in for the late Pope Francis. It is 61 degrees in Rome tonight.
And let's get a look at your First Warn forecast here. Not quite that warm, but it won't be so bad later in the week.
Correct. We're going to see very nice temperatures starting tomorrow, really, but that is going to come with quite a bit of rain. We have almost daily chances of rain this week, and there even is a small chance that some of those rain showers could turn into some severe weather. Now, the best chance of severe weather does look to be tomorrow, with just a marginal risk south of Madison near the Illinois border. But even areas in far southern Wisconsin may see the storms stay south, at least the severe storms. So overall, we don't have any alert days in the forecast for the potential of severe weather. In fact, we don't have any alert days in the forecast, despite the fact that we're going to see rain just about every day this week. So we'll see clear skies later this evening and early tonight, but then later in the night, we'll see more clouds move into the area, and late in the night, we'll see those showers and a few storms move in as well. Continuing throughout the morning, everyone will have a chance to see those showers and thunderstorms, but that's mostly going to occur early. For the afternoon, we're expecting fairly dry conditions, maybe a few light showers here and there, and then as we get towards the overnight hours Tuesday, notice to the south these thunderstorms popping up. That is the chance of severe weather. Now, like I mentioned, it may stay completely to the south of us, but a few storms could creep up into far southern Wisconsin, and some of those storms could be severe. Now, once we get towards the daytime hours on Wednesday, we'll see more showers and storms move through the area. These at this time are not expected to be severe, but a lot of the area is expected to see scattered showers and storms for a good chunk of the day. We still may see some breaks in the rain, but overall, we're going to have a good chance of rain for a lot of the day, and then that looks to clear out mostly for Wednesday night. Still could see some isolated showers, and that small chance of isolated showers could continue for Thursday as well. And then as we get towards Thursday night and especially Friday, we'll see more consistent rain move back into the area, some in the form of showers, some in the form of thunderstorms, and then that will finally clear out by the time we get to Friday night, and Saturday looks to finally be dry. So let's recap all the rain chances this week, because there's going to be plenty of them. Best chance of rain this week looks to be Tuesday morning, most of the day on Wednesday, and then Thursday night into Friday. But even those times in between, later tonight, Tuesday night, Wednesday night into Thursday, still could see some rain. It just won't be quite as widespread. And then for Saturday, we are expecting dry weather. But next week, we're going to have a similar forecast to this week, where we're going to see almost daily rain chances. Now, here's the good news. There's not expected to be any day that's a complete washout, with the exception of maybe Friday. And take a look at those temperatures. Very comfortable. No overnight lows are going to drop below freezing, and almost every single day will at least get to 60. And we are not going to see very windy weather for the rest of this week. Again, maybe Friday, but tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, those 70s are going to be accompanied by very little wind, although we will see that rainfall. So it's a very April-like forecast with the rainfall and the comfortable temperatures. And speaking of April, it's almost the end of it. By the end of the 10-day forecast, we're in May, if you can believe it.
Thank you, Jacob. We'll be right back.
Well, this Easter weekend, most moviegoers were Sinners, and that's actually not a bad thing.
Nope, the vampire thriller Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan, knocked Minecraft out of the top spot at the box office. Is it worth seeing? Here's film critic Will Loper's take.
Chicken Jockey has lost its crown. The new movie in theaters, Sinners, made an impressive $45 million to win first place, knocking a Minecraft movie into second. But is the film worth sinking your teeth into?
We've been gone a long time. We back now. You twins? Nah, we cousins.
Writer-director Ryan Coogler brings us Sinners, working once again with Michael B. Jordan as its star. This time playing twin brothers Smoke and Stack.
Listen here, this ain't no house party.
Coogler has worked with Jordan on all 5 of his films, and the two have a near-flawless track record, beginning with 2013's Fruitvale Station.
When we wake up in the morning, we're gonna play Candyland.
To 2015's Fantastic Creed.
I'm ready. Come on.
And 2 Black Panther films.
I waited my entire life for this.
Which leads us to Sinners, which follows Smoke and Stack using money stolen from Chicago gangsters to open a juke joint in the Mississippi Delta.
Oh, we heard tale of a party.
Oh, and then some vampires show up.
Hey, get back inside.
The movie is a stylistic feast for the senses from start to finish. The cinematography, the editing, and most importantly, the music all make for an enthralling experience. The film is more than just vampires, exploring how music interacts with culture, as well as themes of community, and should be experienced on the biggest screen possible. Sinners is one of the best of the year and is absolutely worth seeing. For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
All right, thumbs up from Will.
I love that.
With the draft this week, maybe a few chances for rain, but 73 degrees on Thursday, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and it looks like during that time frame, not 100% sure if Green Bay's forecast will be similar, but the most rain for Thursday will be later in the night into Friday. Thursday of the 4 days this week looks to be the smallest chance, so it might be pretty good, but obviously the temperature is very comfortable.
All right, thank you, Jacob. We'll be right back. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4. We'll show you what a new study says about the risks associated with CT scans. Dr. Jeff Potoff will be here with that. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 5, the ingredient the Trump administration wants to get out of your food. That is straight ahead at 5. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today, everybody. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. And News 3 Now at 5 starts